the Man Cave Podcast with Dan and D.
As always, I'm Dan.
And I'm D. Welcome.
Hey guys, we're doing a little segment for y'all, the AFC North, man. We're going to kick it off. A couple of review games from last week. Let's talk about a team we both absolutely adore, the Pittsburgh Steelers, buddy. They were at Jacksonville, 1-9 now Jacksonville. They won 27-3. Wasn't really that good of a game, but Jacksonville, I mean, they tried.
Yeah, they tried and they did what they could, but you know, this is one of the reasons why I think that people underestimate the Steelers, because they always end up starting off real slow in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Jacksonville, they got a field goal, then, you know, the Steelers, they couldn't really get into the end zone, so they had to kick off a field goal, and it was
Bro,
like
they were
13.
losing after one quarter, 3-0.
Yeah, well, I'm just kind of walking through there, but I mean, you know, like and that's what I'm getting at. Like, they start off real slow. That's why I think that people, they underestimate them, even though that they're 10-0. I think that's one of the reasons why, like, the media and a lot of people, when they go, oh, you know, like, the Steelers are 10-0, they're just like, okay. Well, there's that and there's the Chiefs. Like, I mean, do you think that the Steelers are going to be able to beat the Chiefs?
Absolutely.
You really think that the Steelers could beat the Chiefs?
I think the record says they can beat anybody.
Wow.
I think the record says they can beat anybody.
Wow. Dude, if the Steelers played the Raiders, I think they would lose to the Raiders.
Alright, well, the Chiefs just beat the Raiders, and the Raiders beat the Chiefs, so.
But we're going to end up getting to that, because that's one of those extra spicy games we got there.
Spicy game.
Spicy. That was a spicy game. That's the type of game that Dan loves. No defense.
I don't like spicy.
You don't like spicy?
Nope. I like sweet.
No, you like bland.
You're basic. Like
You're basic. You're basic as fuck. You probably love pumpkin spice.
Dude, Big Ben, not really. I don't like coffee either.
Oh,
anyways,
man.
Big Ben, 32 for 46, 2 touchdowns. He did have a pick. Connor, 13 carries, 89 yards. Ben had 7 different receivers, man.
Hey, man, you know, I'd have to say it. Who has a better receiving core than the Steelers?
Right now,
Yeah.
it's hard to say because each week somebody else is showing up.
They got Washington. They got Juju Smith-Schuster.
They got Claypool, Ebron, Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, well,
They're sick.
dude, they got a hell of an offense, but I think that's a lot of the reason why people underestimate them. Like, they are probably, in my opinion, the second best team in the NFL right now. Second or third. Like I said earlier, like I still think that the Raiders are an amazing team right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the Raiders, yes sir. But Fitzpatrick, man. We should take that Fitzmagic name away from Ryan Fitzmagic and put it on him.
Give it to Minka.
Yeah, Minka's got that magic.
He does, that 2-pick magic work.
Yes, sir. I mean, at halftime it was 17-3, and a lot of it had to do with that defense, man. They pressured that Lutton dude. That's the starting quarterback for them. I mean, he couldn't do nothing. He felt the pressure, especially in the second half. I mean, everybody was getting to him. T.J. Watt. I'm trying to figure out where I wrote down these names at. T.J. Watt was all over him. Dupree was all over him.
He was sacked.
Tuttett was all over him.
He was sacked twice. He only had 151 yards passing.
Yeah, but they were all over him. All over him.
Hey, that Bengals D's nasty. Troy Edmonds had 2 picks as well.
Yeah, man. Like, they were looking good, and that right there, that defense setting up that offense with really good field position. And, I mean, they were on fire. You could just feel it. Even if you just watched the NFL highlights, you could see as soon as that defense took off, that offense was on. And something to it. I honestly think that Chase Claypool is going to be the offensive rookie of the year. He has 10 touchdown catches in 10 games.
It's pretty impressive.
Exactly. I mean, they love to give that type of stuff to quarterbacks, but I mean, we're going to have to make some room for them. But again, one of my points that I was trying to get at, the Steelers are really overlooked because of the Chiefs, because of the Raiders, because they got off to slow starts against the Broncos, the Texans, Philly, Ravens, Cowboys, and now the Jags. They got off to a slow start to them. Lamar Jackson, when they played them a couple weeks ago, had 3 interceptions, and it took them down to where they almost lost in the fourth quarter with a last minute incompletion.
The very fourth quarter.
The very fourth quarter. Yes.
Very much.
The very last play for the Ravens in the fourth quarter, where it was 4th down and he missed that pass to Willie Snead. That, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why they're really overlooked. And that, I mean, if you see the score of the Cowboys game right now, I mean, they're really not that good at all.
Hey, it's been an interesting game. I don't know if anybody out there's been watching it, but it's been pretty interesting so far.
Yeah, so another little interesting game that I know Dan loves these types of games. The Browns versus the Eagles.
Dude, that game, 22-17. Browns go to 7-3 on the year. Eagles 3-6-1.
Yeah, the Browns are number 2 in the AFC North.
And the winner of this game tonight with Dallas and Washington moves to first place. One of those teams is going to be hosting a playoff game. Isn't that hilarious?
That just shows you how good the AFC North is this year.
I think it's the best division in football.
Either that or the NFC South.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But
this game was...
It was 22-17. The Browns won.
Yeah, it started off slow as hell. 0-0 after 1.
Yeah.
It didn't take till about 13:47 in the second. Taki.
But let me just say this: the start was kind of crazy because the Eagles marched down the field. Sanders fumbled it in the end zone or in the red zone. Then the Browns go and they come down the field and they have a really big pass to Higgins, and he fails to get the ball into the end zone. Then he overthrows Austin Hooper, and Hunt fails to run it in on 4th down. Then Wentz goes down the field with a couple big plays to Rager and I always have a trouble saying his name. Goddard, and then boom, he gets hit, he gets lit up, and then Taki runs it in for that touchdown. That was crazy. That was a pretty crazy start.
Yeah, 50-yard interception return.
Yeah, and that's the only score that really happened in the first half because it was 7-0.
It was.
And then the Eagles come out 3-and-out. Browns get the ball. Mayfield sacked and gets that ball smacked out of his hand by Cox, and then
Fletcher Cox.
He ends up getting that, and they recover it.
We say your name like that if you're good.
And then the Browns, they come off real slow, and Wentz doesn't really have anything. That's my whole thing. He has an old beat up offensive line, and his receivers are always on and off with different people.
I agree with you 100%. But here's my point of view on it. Wentz, he's been in the league 5 years now.
I get that.
All right, his team is bad, and he is making them worse. So he should be making them better after 5 years.
So you think that if they bench him and they put in what's his face?
They're not going to bench him because how much they're paying him.
You could still bench him.
They might. I could see them maybe taking him out for a game, playing Hurts, and then having him come back and be elite.
The Seahawks paid an arm and a leg for Matt Flynn to go out there to Seattle from the Packers, and then they drafted Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson was the starter, even after they basically paid him to sit on the bench or go home.
I don't think Wentz is going anywhere.
No, dude, he's amazing. He really is, dude. He's really good.
21 for 35, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks.
If he doesn't make those crazy, ridiculous plays that sometimes get picked off, would they even have put up 17 points. And really, if Chubbs didn't end up running that 45-yard touchdown or that 45-yard run with that nasty stiff arm, he laid this dude into the earth. Man.
Yeah, he did.
And then
gave him the Henry.
And then what was his name? Joe Otzman. And then he ends up the crazy thing. Okay. Even after that nasty stiff arm, he's the one that tackled him.
Yeah.
He's the one that tackled him. That was the crazier part of it all.
He got up like, oh, hell no.
But I mean, after that, and then that crazy hurdle by Hunt to score it and go up 19 to 10, there really wasn't much that the Eagles can do. Their defense is atrocious. They can't stop the run at all. And I mean,
Chubb, 20 carries, 114
yards. It's not all Wentz's fault that they put up that 22 yards. Yeah, he threw an interception or whatever. He throws an interception here and there. But who does he have? Who's his go-to guy? He's got a lot of the same issue. You got Alshon Jeffries, who's old and beat up and can never play. Then you got Fulgham, and no offensive line, no real running back. You got Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is quick and he's good. He's an elusive guy that can make some big plays, but he's not a starting running back.
All right.
Not. I mean, there's nothing.
Tell me this. Why the hell has Baker Mayfield not thrown a touchdown since the Bengals game?
Dude, because he's overrated. Okay, let's put it like this. Let's swap positions. Baker Mayfield, he's playing for the Eagles, and Carson Wentz is playing for the Browns. What's the score?
I don't know, man.
What's the score?
I don't like either of them.
But what's the score? It would. I'm pretty sure that the Browns would have put up more than 22 points. I'm pretty sure he would have thrown a touchdown. Since the Bengals game.
Hopefully I could agree with you on that because, you got guys like Landry catching 2-3 balls a game. That's it. That's your star receiver. He's catching 2 to 3 balls a game.
Your star receiver for the Eagles is Alshon Jeffries, and he didn't catch a pass, and he was targeted twice. Then you got Fulgham, who was targeted 7 times, gets 1. And then your quarterback's getting laid out 11 different times, and he's sacked 5 times. What can you do? What can you do?
I mean, yeah, you just got to watch.
You have no protection at all. That's my opinion. I'm not a Wentz, diehard, guy that's going to stand up for him. I'm not an Eagles fan, but I recognize good quality players. That's my point. I recognize it.
Right.
I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, as we were talking about earlier, he's a good quality quarterback. He can make stuff happen. Even when he's moving up in the pocket, looking all weird and jumping sideways and throwing crazy passes.
Throwing it sideways.
He's still quality. And then we'll get on to another quality quarterback who has a failing franchise around him.
Oh, hold on. Audience, take a guess who's talking about. Who are we about to talk about? The Baltimore Purple Pigeons.
That's disrespectful.
I got that from Higginbotham.
Okay. It was
Tennessee, Baltimore.
It was 24-30. Tennessee won. First half, there was a couple really, there was a bullshit defensive pass interference called on Humphreys, and then we're going to compare these two possessions real quick, okay? Jonnu Smith, the tight end for the Titans, goes up. They throw him a ball, a 50-50 ball, and he goes up. He snatches it out of the air. Snatches it over Chris Border. Okay. Then Baltimore gets the ball. We don't have a quality physical go up catch a 50-50 pass receiver on that team. But our go-to guy is a guy that also has to protect half the time, and that is that's Mark Andrews. The difference between these two possessions, when we're down in the red zone, they have guys that'll go up and snatch it out the air. Andrews is a fallback finesse catcher. That's the type of guy that he is. Okay, he failed to catch that, and then we had to kick a field goal. So it's 7-3. Okay, then Lamar goes. Then when we get the ball back, because Tyson Bowser goes and picks off Tannehill after Patrick Queen lights him up. Lamar throws a 50-50 great pass to Hollywood Brown, who does not fight for it, just watches the ball sail over his head. And then Lamar has to throw Andrews open for 30 yards for Dobbins to be able to run in our first touchdown. That's the difference. And then Dobbins, our boy Dobbins, he ends up catching he runs into
Catching COVID.
Yeah, he ended up doing that.
It's not funny.
he runs in the 2-yard touchdown, then he catches a 2-point conversion. Then there's a couple really big pass plays and a fake punt and a roughing the passer play that ended up getting a field goal for the Titans for it to be 14-10 at half. Okay? Here's the thing, all right? Everybody loves to sit here and shit on Lamar the whole time, say that he can't pass or anything. He had 2 really big pass plays to Mark Andrews. And then he has to get Des Bryant into it. Des Bryant is the guy who's had the second most catches on the team. And he just really started this game. He had two plays that he played against I forget who it was. I think it was against the Patriots. But I mean, if that's your other go-to guy that you have to throw the ball to, really, what's your team going to be? They're going to be shit. They are.
If Lamar doesn't carry the team, they lose. That's how it works.
Exactly. And
every team knows that.
Exactly. That's what it is.
So they slow down their only weapon, Lamar.
I mean, all you have to do is you just have to put a physical corner on Hollywood Brown. He's not doing nothing. Watch the middle of the field. Nobody else is going to do nothing.
Hey, they know...
Collapse that pocket. We can't do nothing. They had no heart. And I'm going to say this, okay? At the very beginning of the game, the Titans come out, and they're standing on the middle of the field. They're standing on the shield. They're disrespecting us. And then, who has to go out there? Because we don't have no players that have no heart. The coach has to go out there. The coach has to stand up for the field. Has to stand up for M&T Bank. While they come in and they do everything for us. Let's compare this, okay? Your team, Bengals. They have who? They got T. Higgins. They got A.J. Green. They got Boyd. Let's go over to the Steelers. The Steelers have Claypool. They got Juju. They got
Johnson.
They got Washington. They got all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's look at the team that we just played. They got A.J. Brown, who ran over 3 defenders. Chuck Clark, Patrick Queen, and Marcus Peters. Runs over 3 of them. Gets the touchdown.
He's a bad boy.
We're only able to get into the red zone and kick the field goal. Let's see here. The Titans got into the red zone 5 times and put up 21 points. The Ravens go in there 4 times and only put up 15 points. 3 of them were on back-to-back. They're all back-to-back-to-back. To sum up this game, Derrick Henry's cleat and Patrick Queen's face. That's how we're going to sum up this game. Right there.
Hey, there's still plenty of football left. Like I said, if Lamar Jackson doesn't carry that team, they lose.
And also, show some fucking heart.
Yeah, there we go.
Show some fucking heart.
Speaking of heart,
don't allow them to sit there and come to your stadium, disrespect you, and you not go out there. Only your coach. That's disrespectful to all your fans out there. To sit there and resort back to Joe Flacco type of play calling, Joe Flacco play, that's disrespectful. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and you're showing nothing to him. Putting nobody around him. Allowing Devin Duvernay to run down the field and lose the ball in the air to get picked off. That's disrespectful.
All right.
Yeah.
What else? What also sucks?
We'll show some disrespect to the Bengals real quick. How about that? And show some
Well,
disrespect
listen to me.
Joe
I'm a
Burrow.
Bengals fan, but we're only going to talk about them for about 2 seconds because the fact is, Joe Burrow went down. They were winning 9-7. Joe Burrow goes down, gets hurt, tears his MCL, his ACL, and other whatever in his knee. He's out. Tweeted he's out for the rest of the year. Can't get rid of him that easy. He'll be back. Bengals lose again, 20-9. We are not starting Ryan Finley this week.
Really? Who you starting?
We're starting, what is his name? Brandon Allen will be the Bengals starter this week.
Hey, we'll do this, okay? Burrow.
You wrote down way too much. We are not going through all that crap.
Joe Burrow ended up hitting A.J. Green for a touchdown.
He did his first
in,
touchdown.
2 years?
Something like that, yep.
Wow.
We'll take that,
Hey,
though.
man. We'll also show some love to McLaurin, man. He was going off this game.
He goes off every game. That's why I have him in fantasy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, with no Burrow, you really have no chance.
And old Chase Young had to be the one to knock him down.
But he's not the one that took him out. But he ended up stopping that touchdown run, dude. That was nasty.
Burrow's got. Just speaking of heart, dude. Burrow's got hurt. He's like,
oh, dude, I'll give it to him.
He's like, I'm about to just take this.
I just wanted to go like this, rip your heart out.
Oh yeah, when he went down, I literally turned it and I was like, I'm not watching another Bengals game the rest
But I
of the
mean,
year.
when you're getting that much pressure and your quarterbacks are getting hit 12 times
eventually.
a game, getting 4 sacks,
Yep.
you got to put something around him. You got to scheme it to where Joe Burrow's not just sitting there holding the ball like this, and then he's like, "Oh, there's 3 guys running at me right now. Let me just scramble out here real quick." You're going to have to protect him, dude. He is a prized piece for Cincinnati.
And there's no reason he needs to be back there in the pocket for 4 seconds.
No, dude. No.
You don't have 4 seconds in this league.
No, not really, dude. You got quality pass rushers all over the place, dude. You got everything. You gotta learn to protect him. I mean, I understand that you guys had a first round pick that didn't play at all last year, but you guys got something. You got to do something. You got to protect him. If it's not going to end up being Burrow because he ends up getting another MCL and ACL tear and stuff like that,
I don't want to see his
next
career
year,
go down the drain because he's on the Cincinnati Bengals.
You got to do something.
We are the new damn Bengals.
We'll show who did absolutely nothing, just like your team right
Talking
here.
about the ATL?
Oh, dude.
The ATL Falcons.
The Falcons versus the Saints. It was 24-9. The Saints. The
Saints, fellas. Taysom Hill came out and tore it up, man. 18 for 23, 233 yards, 10 rushes, 51 yards. No passing touchdowns. He did run 2 in, though.
Yeah,
and he looked damn good throwing the ball, surprisingly.
Yeah. And I mean, he got on track with Michael Thomas, and dude, they got it, man.
9 catches, 104 yards for Michael Thomas. Go Bucks.
I honestly think that if Drew Brees doesn't end up playing next year, if he retires or something, they're going to be set with Taysom Hill. Get him to not just run all the time, and you guys will be set. You'll be set.
Right.
I mean,
Sean Payton he changed that offense. He schemed it just for Taysom Hill. It was very
He's
obvious.
got all kinds of package plays.
Absolutely.
For him, dude. He's got a whole set for him.
Kamara helped him out. 13 carries, 45 yards, and a touchdown.
Oh yeah, dude. Taysom Hill does some Taysom Hill stuff, dude. I mean, he ran in that touchdown in the second half and put them up. And he ends up hitting Michael Thomas 2 times. A big play throw to Latavius Murray.
Yeah, something like that.
In the flats, and dude, he tore it up too. He did a nice little rollout play to to Alvin Kamara, and then ends up just running it around the corner, runs it in, dude. He's a big playmaker.
Dude, the reason, you see Taysom Hill, no touchdowns. They didn't need it. They ran the ball. Between Kamara, Hill, and Murray, 168 total yards and 3 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Boom. And they played hell of a defense. Sacked Matt Ryan 8 freaking times.
Dude, they hit him 11 times. They got 11 QB
hits.
hits.
He probably feels like Burrow.
Something about it is that Julio Jones only really played a few series. He had a hamstring issue, and they need to be able to do more than just circle their offense around him and Calvin Ridley. You need to do more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand you don't have a whole lot, but I mean you picked up what's his name from the Rams, the running back. What's his name? Gordon, yeah. You picked up Gordon from.
Got it right. It's
Or
the first thing
Gurley,
I've gotten
Gurley,
right like a
Gurley.
week.
Gurley, that's
Oh,
what it
nope,
is.
got
Gurley.
it wrong. Wah.
You picked up Gurley from the Rams, and I mean you got a decent running back right there. Why aren't you scheming some plays for him? He can catch. He can catch. He's good.
I think Matt Ryan's in the same like thing that the Tom Brady thing is, where it's like, all right, 10 yards and turn around. Like, none of this throw the ball, launch the ball downfield. That's not who they are anymore.
No, not without Julio Jones out there. Without Julio Jones, that's your big bodied, kind of quick receiver who can you don't even got to scheme him open. And you got Alvin Ridley, or you got
Kamara.
You got Ridley, who you can run little quick slants and cross patterns with. Scheme him open. I mean, I know when you got those two out, that's a hell of a tandem right there. So you got that. You got to be able to put up more than 9 points.
Yeah.
9 points. You got that all in the first half. You got that all in the first half.
Yep. Check this out. Speaking of first half, Mike Thomas recorded his 482nd catch during the first half, which breaks the all-time record for most catches in the first 5 seasons.
Dude, he's a beast.
Beast. Go Bucks.
He is a beast.
Should we talk about them?
Another little beastie game.
The Chiefs and
the Chiefs and the Raiders.
Yeah, man. 9-1 Chiefs, 6-4 Raiders. Chiefs pull that one out 35-31.
Yeah,
beautiful
dude,
game. Super fun to watch,
game.
dude. It went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And of course, it took a Mahomes fourth quarter, hell of a fourth quarter from Mahomes to bring it back and win that game.
Hey, man, like they were saying, Gruden built that team mainly to compete with the Chiefs.
And they're 1-1 on each other this season.
Yeah, dude, and you're sitting there showing major disrespect to the Raiders. How dare you show some disrespect?
Why you always got to bring up something dumb during our episodes? Always got to hate. You can never just
You're the one that was hating at the beginning when we were talking about the Steelers.
You're the one that was hating on the Steelers.
I'm not really hating on the Steelers.
You were.
I just think that they start real slow, and that you can't start slow against top tier competition. You can't.
We'll see. Speaking of starting slow, that was the complete opposite
Of what this game was.
Absolutely.
Man.
Both quarterbacks scored on their first 2 possessions.
Oh, dude, it was amazing, man. On that Josh Jacobs 2-yard run, they hit Wheeler for a 26-yarder on 3rd and 5. Then they end up hitting, what is this guy's name? Nelson Aguilar?
Right.
Dang. Like, come on, man. And then you got a 13-yard
Yeah, he had
Jacobs
that toe tap
run.
catch at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah,
like 17-yard toe tapper.
That's what started that.
Toe tapper.
That's what led to that 2-yard Josh Jacobs run, and then Hill was able to run in a 3-yard touchdown pass, and they were able to go for it on 4th down, and Kelsey even
4th yard and down.
4th yard and down, yes sir.
Woo!
And then Travis Kelsey ended up lining up, got the direct snap, and did a nice little shuffle pass to this guy named Pringle. To get that first.
Hey, once you pop the fun, don't stop.
Exactly.
Kelsey ripped it up, man. 8 catches, 127 yards, and a touchdown.
Speaking of that, Arnett for the David Arnett, the old Buckeye.
David Arnett, yeah, for the Bucks. Go Bucks.
They called a bullshit defensive pass interference call on him, dude. Him and Kelsey were going at it, and they were both shoving on each other. You gotta let that go. He even still, I think he didn't catch that. That's what it was. He didn't catch it. I think that's the big reason why I did it. That's what helped set up that 3-yard touchdown run by Edwards.
Edwards-Helaire from LSU doing big things, man. LSU's out there setting names up, all 2 players.
Yeah, and then Carr was able to do a double fake reverse little floater thing out to this guy, Derek Carrier. Derek to Derek connection. What you know about that?
Derek know about that.
Derek know all about that.
Don't Derek.
Yeah, and then he ran over this dude, Daniel Sorensen, and Willie Gay. He was able to do this nice little spin move off of him. And then they were able to get a field goal kick for 17-14. So, I mean, it was a crazy first half. And then going into the second half, they were both just trading touchdowns back to back, and
Helaire scored again.
Man. It was crazy again.
Helaire scored again. 14 carries, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
For the game. He ends up scoring again. There's 4 total touchdowns in the fourth quarter. But because of that 3 that the Raiders got instead of 7, they ended up losing by that 4 points.
Yeah, and Derek Carr ended up throwing off a pick to the same guy that Derek Carrier did his nice little spin move off of.
Right, payback's a bitch.
That's what ended up capping off the game and allowing it to be 35-31.
Still a pretty good game, man. Raiders are looking good.
Game.
Raiders are contenders, bro. They are for sure.
I don't know about the weapons around that they got around Derek Carr, because Derek Carr is looking really good this year.
He's kind of like the Steelers. Every week, some new name comes out. Somebody he's been throwing it to, or some big defensive guy, or
I don't know why everybody loves to show some disrespect to Gruden, but he's really turned around the Raiders.
And for the contract that he signed, I think ye of that had little faith, I think, is starting to get faith.
I think a lot of people were just really upset with them trading away Khalil Mack. But with that Khalil Mack, look at what they were able to get just to turn them around in the last 2 years. To where last year they were looking at them like they were tough competition. Now that you're really looking at them because they're able to put up 31 points on the Chiefs and able to make it a nail-biter. Game in, game out. And they beat the Chiefs in Kansas City.
And that's how you beat the Chiefs, man. You got to put up a lot of dang points.
That's tough, man. And I mean, Mahomes, we already know what Mahomes does. Mahomes does Mahomes things. He's the truth, man. He's the truth.
24 for 45. He had 348 yards, 2 touchdowns. He threw his second pick of the season, by the way. But who's counting? Hey, he was pretty much a badass, man. And I think we should take a little break and come back with a little everyone's favorite segment.
We'll bring it back.
Bring it back with a little bit of badass or bust. And then we got our picks, man. We're gonna go check in with that and let you guys know how we did. All right, we'll talk to you soon.